So standing in Tasana mountain pose. So the why yoga, we come sometimes just to loosen up, and it's not necessarily physically, it might just be to clear the head and loosen up a little bit. So hopefully we can do that this morning with this class. Let's start with a body scan standing. It's not quite as relaxing doing it standing, but if you can close your eyes, then please do, because you'll find you draw inward better then and are able to relate to your body parts better. If you can't, then just half close your eyes, but try still to draw inwards. So just have a little think here while we're standing, before we start the body scan. How do you feel? What is happening in your body? We are very body aware because we're yogis, and I think it is a real health benefit actually, because we do pick up on things much quicker. Some of us, like me, might become hypochondriacs, but that's another story. So anyway, let's now take our attention down to our feet. So take your attention down to your feet and feel, is there any tension there in your feet? So feet take a heck of a load when you think of it, of our day. Anything that's happening in the day, the feet take us there and back, and probably don't complain for most of it. But they do get a little bit tense, sore, tight sometimes. So can you feel anything in your feet that just doesn't feel quite right? So then start to move your feet, wriggle your toes, curl your toes maybe, just do what you feel's needed there. Rock round, maybe roll round your feet. So rolling from side to side, maybe back and forwards. Your ankles and everything might come into it. Don't worry, it's not just your feet we're moving here, but just trying to loosen off those feet. You might even want to lift them and have a little shake of them. Give them a bit of a shake out and loosen them off. And then when you feel you're ready, settle back down. And there, can you feel that change in your feet already? Hopefully a little less tense. Then take your attention up to your jaw. So right at the other end of you, come up to your jaw. Mine is moving obviously at the moment, yours is still. So how does that feel? Are you holding, clenching your jaw at all? Is there any tightness there? So then ruminate like a cow. Nobody's watching. So by circling that bottom jaw gently, don't go too fast, don't go too hard. The bottom jaw is the only part of your jaw that moves. Your top doesn't. So you have to kind of circle through that joint gently by just moving your lower jaw back and forward, up and down, just loosening off the cracking bits. Maybe I can feel a little bit of cracking going on in my jaw. Cracking's okay as long as it's not painful. So you're just loosening off anything that's stuck in that joint that's a little bit crystallized maybe. And then let go of what you're doing with your jaw and just see if you've made any difference there. And then come down to your hands. So take your focus inwards and down to your hands. And ask yourself, what are they holding on to? Hands are possibly the hardest part of us to relax. They're always ready to do or doing. So while we're here, think of your hands and where any stiffness or any holding. It is that holding feeling of them not wanting to let go. So have a little shake through your wrists and shake through your fingers there. Shake everything out. Clasp your hands up, squeeze them in, release your fingers, open them out as far as you can. Wriggle your fingers, do whatever you think, maybe individual wriggles of each finger. I can already feel that energy coming in that's loosening up any staleness that was in there, anything that just wasn't moving or that was holding it on. It's now flexing a little bit and feeling a bit more fluid. And then come to a standstill, just going back to hands for a moment and a little thing to loosen up. There's been a lot of talk on a podcast I'm listening to at the moment about how as we get older, why in bed do we not know what to do with our arms anymore? So have a think about that when next time you're in bed. Because I suddenly realised I don't. You used to sleep and your arms never bothered you. Now we don't know where to put them, under the pillow, over the duvet or whatever. Okay, going back to our body scan, coming up to our shoulders, or down, yeah, up to our shoulders from our hands. Are they sitting comfortably? So shoulders again, we know they hold tension. Lift and lower your shoulders. Just gently sliding them up towards your ears and back down. Maybe do it one at a time. So sliding that triangular scapula at the back of your body on your shoulder blade, or your shoulder blade, just sliding it slowly up and down. Take a few more maybe together. And then maybe circle one shoulder in one direction and circle it in the other direction. Notice where any clunking, clanking, any tension seems to still be stopping the movement, feeling fluid. Then do the other shoulder in little circles forward and back. And then have just a little wriggle through those shoulders. Maybe moving your neck a little bit with it. We'll move on to the neck in a minute, which will then loosen that off. Okay, then bring your attention up from your shoulders once they've settled and feel a little bit looser again, hopefully. Bring your attention up to your forehead. So what's happening with your forehead? Are you frowning? Often I hold a frown. And I realise there's a lot of tension coming in towards my third eye, actually. Everything screws up towards that point at the top of your nose. So have a little frown, really frown as much as you can, and then slowly spread it out as if somebody had their hands on your forehead and was stretching the skin slowly across your forehead again. And then lift your eyebrows up and down. Remember, nobody's watching this. They're only watching me. Lifting your eyebrows up and down, moving that forehead skin in a different direction. See if you can lift one eyebrow, then the other. A bit like James Bond used to do that, I always thought. And then release that and see if your forehead feels a little bit better. Coming down again to your neck that we've just been at. So is there any tightness on your neck? Does your head feel heavy on the top of your neck? Is your neck feeling slightly out of alignment? So rather than just moving here, tuck that chin down and in and raise up through the back of your neck. So lift open the back of your spine in your cervical area. Bring in your posture point, really. So it is a form of tensing, but if you draw it back up, your head doesn't feel quite so heavy because your neck's in the right position to pass the weight of it down through your spine. So in that position then, just gently nod your head, maybe very gently, very tiny movements, just very tiny movements. And then maybe go over to one side with your ear and then the other, but very tiny movements on your neck, just tiny, tiny movements. And then say no. So rock your head from side to side as if you were saying no, but try and keep that long spine feeling in the back of the cervical spine there. And then go to your crown, but still thinking of your neck, and going down to your feet, but still thinking of your neck. Push into your feet and then raise up through your crown and really draw up through that cervical spine, opening it, loosening it up, anything that's contained and compacted in there, loosen it up. And then just sigh out as you release that back down. Okay, so then taking our attention down to our hips and how they feel. How do your hips feel? Do they feel tight? Do they feel solid? Maybe they feel quite loose. Do you feel as if they're not attached to your consciousness at the moment? You weren't really aware of your hips being there or doing anything. Again, a part of our body, we do hold a lot of tension. Emotional tension is held, not just in the shoulders, but in the hips, remember. So thinking of that, have a little circle of your hips. Maybe put your hands on your belly or on the side of your hips or on the back of your hips, just wherever round about to feel that area as you circle. And then circle the other direction, remember. So think of the hips, the feet, the knees, everything else is moving too, but think of moving the hips there. And then pop your hands on your waist and do some little pelvic tilts. So remember, we're bringing the pelvis and the pubic bone up towards the belly button. Just all that's moving here is the pelvis. We're just rocking gently through that pelvis backwards and forwards. Bit like cat-cow or the start of cat-cow. So we move from the tailbone. It's your tailbone area that we're moving here. And then release, let go of the thought of your hips. And then have a full body shake now. So just have a shake out, a swing out, whatever you feel. Loosen off a little bit more. Everything should feel a little bit looser, hopefully. Have a swing, have a tap maybe, which is another thing that they do nowadays to loosen up. That might be something that works for you. It's a little bit weird for me, I always find, but they do say it stimulates your muscles, obviously. So it stimulates your circulation and the flexibility comes in easier when your muscles are warm. So then coming back to just standing in Tadasana, moving inwards even more to your breath now. So take 3 deep breaths in and sigh out through your mouth. So inhaling through your nostrils, but open your mouth and sigh the breath away. And then take another 3 and try and make the out breath even longer than the in breath. Sighing it out through your mouth, releasing anything that still needs to be loosened off. And after your last sigh, when you finish the next exhale, just stop, come back to just standing in Tadasana. Have a little quick body scan again. There may still be areas that you feel a little bit tight, that haven't quite wakened up physically, but how does your brain feel? How does your mind feel? How do you emotionally feel now as well? Do you feel a bit looser? That's why we come to the mat. We do move inwards, forget the world outside, and hopefully that loosens us off. I'm just going to check, somebody's pinged me. I'm just going to check nobody's telling me my internet's not working. No. Yes, no. Okay. Right, okay, so let's try and loosen off a little bit more now with a bit of flexibility and movement physically. Okay, so standing in Tadasana, let's just begin with our breathing in, lifting the arms up above our head, turning the hands and releasing. Try and not force through this, try and make it flowy. So sink into your feet, bend your knees as you push yourself up, make it really bouncy almost. And then next 3, we're going to take our arms up in front of us, still with that nice bounce through the knees, extending and then just letting the knees soften and swinging the arms behind us as the knees are soft. So up and down. So it's a bent knee position as your arms go behind you, open knee position as you raise up. Take 1 more of those. And then we're going to take some side bends. We're going to do it in 3 different positions. So your feet are going to be together, 1 side bend. We'll move them to hip distance apart, 2nd side bend, and then wider for your 3rd side bend. So you're moving your feet with each breath. Okay, so inhale it, left arm up, feet are together here, and we're just taking a gentle side bend, armpit to hip, over to my right arm going. Inhaling back up to the top. Exhale that arm down. Step your foot out to hip distance now, your right foot I'm taking. Left arm goes up again on the breath. Exhale over, maybe you're going a little bit further, slightly different movement. Keep the weight in both feet in these positions if you can. Exhale the arm back down. Move the feet even further so you're kind of wide legged now. Inhale up. Exhale over. Let the other arm maybe trail down your thigh. Try and keep the top shoulder rolled open. And arm comes down. Step the feet in. Go the other side. Inhale. Right arm in my case comes up. Exhale over. Feet together. Inhale back up to the top. Exhale down. Next one, we step the feet open to hip distance. Inhale up. Exhale over. Feels slightly different. Watch your feet balance. Try and keep both feet attached to the ground as we do this. Next one, we step out to wider legs. Inhale up, exhale over. Oh, it's doing something, it's loosening something, it's making my knee back. And let's come down to the side, step the foot back together. This time we're thinking of the feet again, so we're rolling up onto our toes. So you might want to just practice that and decide whether you want your feet together or slightly apart. So it's probably more easy to balance if your feet are hip distance apart. So just roll through your feet a few times just to get that loosening off through the movement, through your sole of your foot and through your toes, etc. Maybe you can roll right back onto your heel as you come down to the floor and lift your toes. Okay, so if you're happy with that, then that movement, then take your arms up as you roll up and then down as you roll back onto your heels. Take your arms maybe behind you a little bit as you come back down. So as you roll back towards your heels, lift up. Quite a balanced one, that. So balance does tend to put a little bit more tension. It's not quite as flexible, but we need flexibility to balance, funnily enough. You need both. Sthira Sukha, here we always go back to Sthira Sukha. Okay, this one we're going to go up, and as you come down, soften your knees, roll your upper back and let your arms come down, just down to your sides, and then rolling back up through. So it's a mini roll down. We're not going quite down, and then rolling back up onto your toes. So starting to move through the spine a little bit more here. Whoops, the balance is going, so. Oh, lots of cracking. So those joints were just not ready to take the balance. I'm very wobbly this morning. Okay, so then feet flat on the floor. Let's take the hands into Anjali Mudra. Inhale, take the arms up above the head. Maybe into a little bit of a back bend if you feel like it now. And then exhale, bring the hands down to heart center, soften the knees and roll forward into that very soft forward fold. Bringing the hands still in Anjali Mudra back up. As you come up, open the arms out to the sides into like a 5-star. And then bring the hands back into Anjali Mudra. Exhale as you roll back down again. Still soft knees, feet flat to the floor. Rolling back up. As you inhale, taking the hands out. Stretching out into 5-star. Hands into Anjali Mudra as you roll back down on the exhale. Back up to the top. Hands now come apart, and then we just roll down through the spine and take the hands behind us as if you were doing bird, which we'll do again in a minute. So hands behind us and roll them up behind us. Don't need to straighten your legs here though. You just need to do a soft roll down. Don't go too far straightening things out yet. Just breathing in as you go up, out as you come down. Take it nice and slowly. Let all the muscles, it's a chain reaction, remember, so the slower you do it, the more it moves through the chain in an efficient way, rather than pulling on anything. Okay, so coming back up to the top, have a last stretch up there with through your fingertips, and bring the hands back down as you exhale to your side. Okay, so we're going to take a roll down now. You might want to come to the end of your mat. We're doing down dog in a minute, so you can go to the end of the mat if it's easier for you. And then you're just rolling down slowly in your own time. So as slow as you want it, but we're going to stop kind of halfway. So you might want your hands on your thighs, just as a bit of stability here, or you might want to take them into ragdoll and take your elbow, hold on to each elbow in a sort of square shape, and stopping there. Now, how straight your legs are here is up to you. If you bend them and sink your bottom, it will give you a nice stretch along your back. So it's softening your knees a little bit more and taking your bottom back a little bit so that your belly is almost resting on your thighs. Will give you a nice stretch on your back there. You don't want to do that if you'd rather roll out of your hips and stretch with the gravity pulling you downwards, then do that. And then just have a little sway from side to side, just a very gentle one. Be careful of your joints at the top of your legs there, just be very careful. And then pop the hands to the floor, knees are still soft,
Walk the hands forward now and come into quite a close down dog. You don't need to stretch out here, just so that your feet are flat on the floor to start, if you can. If they're not, don't worry. We're just going to walk the dog here, so rolling through the feet. So if you don't feel you're in the right position, we're just thinking of opening the back of the legs a little bit more and warming up. So have a roll through, maybe have a little bit of a twist through the hips there as you do this, roll up and down. And then walk the feet towards the hands again. And we're going to take a roll back up. So looking along the floor, eyes open, I would suggest. Take it easy, take it slowly. We've been down for a couple of minutes, so rolling up, opening up into Tadasana, opening up through the palms of the hands. Have a little wiggle through your toes and fingers. And then grab your bricks. If you've got them handy, we'll use them now. So we're going to eventually in a second do golden seed, which has got a lot of the movements we've just been doing in it in the flow. So just before we do, pop your bricks in front of you. We're going to take Prasarita Padottanasana, which is wide leg forward fold. So wider legs now, feet facing forwards or slightly inwards if you're doing this. You can soften your knees here. If you do find it's too hard to reach your bricks, soften your knees. Otherwise, hands at the hip flexors, and that's where you're folding from, not from the waist, from the hip flexors. Fold over gently towards your tall bricks in front of you if they're more comfortable. Some of you might not want the bricks, you might want to just do this on the floor. We're just going to walk a little bit with those bricks, or walk with our hands on the floor. So whichever you've chosen. And the wider your legs are, the easier this is. So if you feel quite tight still in this position, widen your feet slightly and you'll find you come nearer the floor that way, so it's not quite such stretch. And as I say, you can soften the knees. Okay, we're going to walk the bricks backwards, first of all, towards the space between our legs. And it'll bring you into more of a forward fold feeling. And then walk them forwards. And as far forwards as you feel comfortable, into a nice long stretch of the spine. So try and keep the hips going back. Have a little rock through there. Just rock the hips backwards and forwards so that you're moving, you're stretching through your arms, you're stretching through your legs. Just a little rock backwards and forwards. Walk back to just under your face with your bricks, basically, and then walk them or on your hands. This can be in your hands. You can do this without the bricks if you want to. You can walk round towards your right foot. Again, you can soften knees if necessary, so please don't overstretch here. We are quite warm now, but and then walk the hands back to centre and come back round to the left side. The bricks are just an extension of your arms, so don't worry whether you've used them or not. Doesn't matter for the class point of view, it's from your point of view. Coming back to the front, walking the hands back in towards you, and then softening your knees and walking your feet back in to hip distance, and then taking another roll up. So slowly rolling up, taking it easily, and coming up into Tadasana. We're going to take our golden seed now. So before we do, I've got a joke for you. I'm not very good at telling jokes, but this was the idea, was it would loosen you up. It might just make you groan. Yoga is the only time I can touch my toes, and even then it's a stretch. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, right. If it hasn't loosened you up, it's maybe made you grit your teeth, that one. Okay, come to the centre. We're taking golden seed. So golden seed is, we step out into 5-star, we do goddess, we then roll down into, from goddess, we roll down into what was just done, Prasarita Padottanasana. We do elephant trunk. Again, you might want your brick for that handy. We then gather energy, remember, in this one, and take it up to above us to reach out with that energy. And then we go into bird swing, which we've just been doing. And then we gather the energy again, which is kind of like our ragdoll position. Take it back up,
swing it back round and bring it back into us. So it's quite an easy one. You've done it a lot before, so hopefully everybody's ready to do it now. Okay, so in Tadasana to start. Breathing in, we step out and we come into 5-star and reach out in 5 different directions. As we exhale, we turn our feet out the way and come down into Goddess. As we inhale, we push back up through Goddess. We turn the feet forward. As we exhale, we fold forward slowly into Prasarita, wide leg forward fold. Just for a second, adjust there if you need to. Remember, knees can be bent. Bring your bricks in. Pop the brick under your face if you need it, otherwise hand under face, and we take our elephant trunk roll round with the arms. So you're opening up to your right and left with one arm as the other one holds you in that position. Take a couple of those. Nice little twist in here. And then soften the knees, sink the bottom, bring your hands under you and gather that energy from the floor in your hands. That's the idea. Turning your palms in so that you're heeling your hands towards each other as you raise up and take that energy above you. And then you come into bird. So either you're going to soften your knees and swing the bowling ball through your legs, or you're going to take your arms beside you, outside of your legs, and roll through and take your arms up behind you. So there's 2 options there. It's either holding a bowling ball idea, that energy, and taking it through your legs and back up. I'm keeping doing this, so just take a few of these. And then other one is rolling down and taking the wings of the bird out to the side beside your legs and up behind you. And then the next time we roll back down, we find that energy ball again, we gather it up, take it up, rotate the wrists so they come together, push that energy out and share it, and then gather some more energy in the palms as we swing the arms back, or take the arms back round, sorry, and bring them down and pop them in your tummy as you step your feet together. Hopefully that was clear. Let's have another go at that one. Okay, just before we do is we stand in Tadasana. One more pun, only one more. I didn't think yoga could fix my posture, but I stand corrected. So I find these funny, but I've got a very stupid sense of humour. Okay, we're going the other way this time. Inhale, step out, take 5-star. Exhale, we're turning the feet, we're coming into Goddess. We can push the energy away in this one instead of doing goalposts if you want to. Inhale, we're turning the feet and we're coming in ready to fold gently down. Your breath might go off, don't worry. Down ready for our elephant trunk. Pop your left hand maybe on the floor first time, do it the other way this time. Doesn't matter if you haven't. So twice to each side. You soften one knee and straighten the other leg here. Your body should do it automatically. So please don't hold. This is a loose, flowy sequence. So let it soften, let it move easily. It's about flexibility here, much more than anything else. Okay, so then we gather that energy ball, inhaling to the energy ball up. We push the energy out to share it. And then we're coming straight into bird or the bowling ball. So you're swinging down and taking the arms behind you or through your legs. Back up. Take one more of those. Holding that energy ball if you're swinging down through between your legs. Back up to the top, everybody. And then we're coming back down and gathering that energy ball. So soften the knees, gather the energy ball, draw it up past your face, rotate the wrists, push the energy out to share it to the universe. Gather some fresh energy in the palms of your hands as you take your hands down by your side and pop them to your tummy or your heart or wherever you feel you need some energy today. And rest and breathe and bring your feet back together. And have a little couple of breaths there. And then maybe just to relax those arms that have done a lot of work, take your right hand and fold it across your chest and fold the other one into a figure of 4 round it, so at the elbow. Try not to hold the joints here. Try to either hold your forearm or your upper arm. But if you hold the upper arm, watch you're not twisting to do that. Try and keep that shoulder drawn back a little bit. You want some sort of connection in that shoulder rather than overstretching the wrong muscles. And then lift that arm up just a little bit and just hold and breathe. Take a couple of breaths here, maybe using your mouth again to sigh the breath away. And then open the arms and take it in the other direction. Feeling for any tightness. Can you loosen that tightness, maybe by a little bit of movement in this or drawing backwards and forwards. And then releasing. And then let's finish with a shake and tap again. So you can tap or you can just slap as I do. I quite like that sensation of just flopping my arms round. But then really roll through your feet as you do it this time. Really let yourself go. Really loosen up. We humans sometimes have trouble loosening up, and mentally as much as physically. So then have a little shake through everything as you finish. Come back into Samasthiti, which is feet together. This time rather than feet at hip distance. Hands at heart center. Nice long spine, especially through your cervical spine. Think of pushing gently through your feet, lifting up through your crown. And then just gently tipping your chin towards your hands and holding there for a second before we finish. So a little phrase to finish with, to think of, it's not a joke. When we cease to try to fix the world fixes itself. When we cease to try to fix the world fixes itself. So coming to the mat and taking that time for yourself here, finding some space, loosening up. Maybe when we go back out that door, we'll find some of the problems that were there have just sorted themselves without us being so involved. Thank you everybody for your practice this morning. May the light in me always greet the light in you. Namaste.